Hello there, Taurus. Welcome to your October 2017 tarot reading. So my sincerest apologies for getting these readings out so late for you guys. The past 3 weeks have been super hectic for me. I moved, I changed jobs, changed cities. So it has been a very difficult process. So I apologize. So because your reading is late, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do it the traditional way. I was trying to rush through these readings, and I think that is a major mistake from my end because I feel like a lot of information got lost, okay? So I'm just going to do this to get more information for you guys, but I was doing some meditation. And I feel like coming into this month, so the first week is already done, and I feel like for the next 3 weeks of the month, so for the remainder of the month of October 2017, I feel a lot of you guys are finishing up a major undertaking. For some of you, a big project where I feel like you were put in a position of as a supervisor, as a foreman, as an overseer. You were somebody who was in charge of it. But it was a frustrating project because a lot of egos were at work, a lot of things, a lot of people that, you know, they say they're going to be here or there to take care of certain things. So logistically, I feel like there were a lot of logistical problems, a lot of logistical concerns. But now that you're done with the project, I feel like you're patting yourself on the back and you're like, okay, enough's enough, moving on. So that's what I feel is happening for many of you. You're going to be encountering new projects that you're taking on. You're going to be meeting and you know, talking to a lot of people about new things, about new opportunities for collaboration, new work that's in store for you. And then some of you, for example, you might have finished this major endeavor and you're thinking about, okay, I need to return back to work. Where can I go? So I feel some of you might even reach out to people from your past, like places you've already worked at, people that know you from previous employment situations, and you're trying to find as well new work or returning to a previous job in order to get new work. Okay, so it looks very fruitful, and I feel that there's going to be new contracts signed by the end of this month where you're going to be in a new environment. So it looks very good. The other thing that I'm sensing as well is this past project that you've been taking on. And seriously, no cards coming out. But this past project that you've taken on, I feel like it felt very oppressive. It felt like there were so many people involved. And it felt like some people might be very temperamental. So you were trying to accommodate. You were trying to, you know, adjust your energy so that it meets the needs of the people. And it also meets the needs of everybody else, like to please everybody, but at the same time to get things done. And so it really affected your mood. Let me move this camera a little bit. It really affected your mood. It really affected your health. I'm sensing you might have been losing out on sleep because of it. And so what I'm feeling is, you know, because this is now done and over with, you're feeling very hopeful. You're feeling like this tremendous weight lifted off your chest, okay? And I feel like you can, you know, cross that off your to-do list and you're moving on. And then some of you were in a big position managing that project, managing that job. So you have a little bit of a resume boost. You can now put it on your resume. I did this, I did that. I managed all of these things. I coordinated all of these events. I managed to get everybody from different walks of life together to do this one thing. So you have quite a bit of bragging rights, I feel. Bragging rights so that you can, you know, boost your resume, boost your reputation, which is going to be really, it's going to work out well for you professionally. And then I'm also feeling as well, they say like legal issues coming from far away. So I don't know if you have assets overseas for some of you. You might also be like communicating with somebody from a distance, and I'm sensing like overseas, okay? Communicating with somebody from a distance, trying to resolve either assets, trying to resolve or dissolve a marriage, for example, trying to get that just done and over with under your belt. And I'm also sensing as well, you know, like releasing property, releasing land. I've been feeling a lot of property issues for you guys for the past 4 months. So either needing to get a new property, needing to get a space that you can call your own, or having some property management responsibilities on you, and you're going to be dropping the load and relinquishing control of it. I also see as well a lot of dealings with in-laws. So for those who are married, harmony coming through in-laws, a lot of luck, a lot of blessing, a lot of love and support coming through, not so much from your own family, but the in-laws, that whoever it is that you're married to, whoever it is that, you know, consider your in-laws. So it looks good, okay? I guess the third message coming into the picture here is, I feel like this is the month where you are really going to know your worth, okay? For some of you who have been kind of slaving away, working under somebody, or even doubting your potential because you might have had a situation where you were micromanaged, for example. This is the month where you get to shine. This is the month where people start to see the real you. This is the month where you are a force to be reckoned with. And I feel like this is the month where you feel, you know, kind of like crawling out from under somebody's oppressive energy. I'm seeing it with this combination, but I also felt it coming through when I was meditating for you guys. So it's kind of like emerging, coming out of your shell, and having people really look at you in a different light, in a very positive light, okay? So let's just go ahead into this reading here. Let me see if there's anything else. Let me check here. So I feel for many of you, there is a major relationship that you have already relinquished, okay? So this card really jumped out at me out of all the cards, and I know it's a minor arcana card, but it really jumped out at me. This is basically something that you've been hanging on very tightly to. It could be a relationship for many of you. I do feel relationship. I do feel status quo, because, you know, as an earth sign, you're very resistant to change. Also, as a fixed earth sign, you're doubly so, okay? So I feel like it would take some major calamity, major catastrophe for you to realize, you know what? I can't fix this situation, so I'm going to have to relinquish. But I feel this is the month where energetically, I feel like things are just not working anymore, and you've finished up. You realize it's not for your greater good, and you're going to have to let things go. For some of you, it's a major relationship. Major relationship. This is a card about institutions. This is a card about home. This is a card about relationship. And it was less than stellar, okay? It indicates to me possibly being in a relationship with somebody who is so independent that they don't know how to work together with you as a partner. And this is also a relationship that is together, like you're together, contractually you're together, but you're almost like leading separate lives, okay? So it's like an unhappy marriage. And I'm also feeling as well, there is a sense of like people draining each other's finances with this card. It's like when you're apart, you feel great, you feel amazing. And then when you're together, the energy feels very dense. You know, they might not even be a bad person. They might not even think you're a bad person even. But I feel like together, the two of you are lacking in direction. Together, the two of you have tried everything under the sun to make things work. But if the relationship feels very stagnant, it feels like financially there is a financial entanglement. There's also financial losses associated with this card. And I'm also feeling as well, you know, it's an opposites attract type of energy, but it's not a harmonious, seeing eye to eye type of an energy. So many of you have let a relationship go, long-standing relationship, possibly a marriage, and you're moving house, you're moving out of a physical environment, moving into another environment. And I'm also sensing you have some options to choose from in terms of your dwelling. And then for others of you, this can also be as well, finishing up major projects I mentioned before, and then shifting into, you know, what do I do next? Taking on more opportunities, looking around you to see what opportunities are in store, and being very hopeful, feeling very jubilant, and feeling as if you can begin life anew, living up to your potential. And especially, this is overall about being very hopeful and being very joyous at, embarking on a new path, starting on a new journey. So this month is all about, wrapping things up and moving forward. And I feel that for many of you, it's going to be a lot easier if you drop your heavy load, if you just, look at what you're doing here. And if you are very, very resistant to change, this month is going to be very hard. On the other hand, if you have already shed, your old emotional baggage and physical baggage and people from your life, it has a lot of opportunities in store for you. So I would urge you to try to, figure out what's not really working, especially a living arrangement, especially as well dealing with relationships that are kind of like teetering towards, a dead end, and then trying to move past it, okay? Because you have some really positive energy. Professionally, things are looking good. Professionally, you're in high demand. You have a lot of things on your plate. And I'm also sensing many of you might be, others of you might be like ahead of the energy, where you're exploring new options, romantic options, work options. And I'm also sensing as well, revisiting. This is not a bad card, especially in the reverse position. If this card is going to fall out, this is a very, very good situation where you are revisiting something. So I'm sensing some of you might be reaching out to like previous employers, previous supervisors, slipping your resume towards them, or mailing them your resume, or emailing them your resume, so that they can make recommendations for you, or you're revisiting previous clients, previous people you've worked with, and just, trying to fish around to see like, hey, is there any positions available at the previous company? Or are there positions available now? Or do you know any contacts that would be interested in what I have to offer? So I see a lot of internet-based types of communication back and forth between you and other people that you might have worked with, okay? And I'm also sensing as well, for those of you who are thinking as well about traveling, I feel like plans and things like that are solidifying. You're making plans for a major travel endeavor, and I feel like it's a new environment. That's what it feels like. So you're working, figuring out the logistics. You're trying to figure out, okay, so what date am I supposed to go? When am I supposed to leave? Where am I going to stay? So figuring out the logistics of a major trip. The last card that we have here, the Hermit in the reverse position. The Hermit in the reverse position basically indicates a situation where we need to dig a little bit deeper. A situation where we need to like really analyze it. We really need to examine it through a lens that supports growth and understanding. So if for whatever reason, if things have been, very burdensome the first week of this month, October, and you're just like, you were stressed out, or you were feeling like, I don't want to deal with this right now, and you might have let something go. This card with the Hermit in the reverse is telling you, really examine it, try to revisit it, and try to figure out, is it really over? Did I handle it to the best of my capabilities? If it's a project and you're dealing with a lot of temperamental people, you want to really look at it as, okay, what am I learning from it? How can I prevent it from repeating itself in the future? So it's kind of like taking the knowledge with you as you move forth and trying to really glean important lessons from it, okay? So I'm looking at all the major arcana cards, and this is the way that it looks to me. All the major arcana cards. And this is your card here, Taurus. The Hierophant symbolizes you. When it shows up in the reverse position, this is a card overall about, having a lot of success, and it can also indicate financial success. So this combination basically screams out to me that the more success you have, the more responsibilities there are in store for you. So you want to be very careful about reaching that middle ground, okay? Reaching that middle ground and thinking like, when is it going to be enough? Like, when is enough going to be enough? Like, when will I get to that point where I'm perfectly content, where I'm not gathering a lot more material gains, because it's going to bring a lot of problems. It's going to bring a lot of assets. It's going to bring a lot of things into my life that I have to manage. So I feel like it's really important for you this month to really figure out, what's not working. What am I living for? And can I do with less? So I feel for many of you, thinking heavily about traveling light, thinking heavily about letting go of physical, emotional baggage so that you can begin a new phase of your life with a lot more, I feel like with a more minimalist approach to life, so that you don't feel burdened, you don't feel bogged down, so that you don't feel encumbered by a lot of unnecessary stuff and baggage, okay? What I'm sensing here with this card, the Page of Wands, this is a child card, okay? So I feel that for many of you, if you are in any capacity where you're dealing heavily with children, okay, teacher, mentor, babysitter, nanny, whatever the situation might be, I'm sensing that you might have a child or somebody that has, like, attention problems. That's the first thing. And so when you're dealing with children who might be very jittery, they have trouble staying still, they have trouble retaining information, if you revert to using, didactic tools, especially visual tools, it's going to be very helpful, okay? So that message came through. And then I'm also sensing as well, if you have like a person that is an underling, okay, somebody who is an apprentice, somebody who's working with you, somebody who's kind of like working under you, I'm sensing this person is exploring other opportunities. So you might be in a position where you're dependent on this person, but they feel like you're not giving them enough credit. So I feel like they might be looking at other employment opportunities, looking at other employers in general. So be careful about that, okay? So have a talk with them and ask them, like, especially if it's a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, ask them, like, well, do you see yourself here, like, for the next few years, because I'm going to need you? Or tell them, is there anything I'm doing wrong that you would like me to change? So I feel like a heart-to-heart conversation with this person before they disappear, because it seems like they're very eager to learn. And if you take on the burden and you don't learn to delegate, they're going to get frustrated. They're going to feel like they're not able to shine. And they're going to look at opportunities where they have more freedom, where they have more responsibilities. And then likewise, I'm sensing for many of you, you're already bored with your job here. And you're looking at more opportunities. You're looking to branch out. And I feel like the future looks really, really, really good, because opportunities are going to be in store for you. You are in high demand. Your resume looks really, really good, Taurus. So I'm sensing for many of you, major move here. And I feel like shifting location as well. Okay. So I hope the reading has been helpful for you guys. And I apologize for the delay. Okay. If you'd like to book an appointment with me, please visit my website. It is in the description box below. I wish you all the best, and I'll be back for the mid-month reading. Those should be out before the 15th of this month, okay? Take care of yourself. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.